Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day episode number 1 for August the 13th, 2008. Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day. My name is Leland Brunger, and the movie review I'm doing today is for Step Brothers, starring Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, Mary Steenburgen, and Richard Jenkins. The film is directed by Adam McKay, who Will Ferrell also collaborated with on Anchorman, Legend of Ron Burgundy, and Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. This is kind of the third film they've been doing together, and they also worked together on a lot of the old classic Will Ferrell SNL sketches, and that's kind of where they came from. Step Brothers is hilarious. This is one of those movies that I can honestly say that I laughed from beginning to end, and I fucking loved it. It's so good, it's so funny, and it's just great. And I can honestly say that it is the best Will Ferrell comedy since Anchorman. Every time Will Ferrell comes out with a movie, I'm always kind of hoping it's going to be the next Anchorman. And this movie is up to par with that. The comedy is fantastic. It's so funny. And I think one of the reasons that this movie works so well is that we have Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly playing the characters they love to play, which are big, flamboyant, over-the-top characters. But in this film, the two characters they're playing are really endearing. This movie is really about two 10-year-old kids who have to move in together because their parents get married. It just so happens that these 10-year-old kids are played by 40-year-old men, and it is hysterical. I really was so pleased by everything that they were doing in this movie, and I loved it. For me, this is the best comedy of the summer so far. I have not seen Pineapple Express or Tropic Thunder. I'm going to be trying to see those within a day or two and kind of decide which one I thought was the best comedy of the summer. But this movie was great. It captures childhood really well in a really funny way, which I think is kind of weird to say that it's a Will Ferrell movie that does it, but the mannerisms, the way they react to each other, the fights they get in, were fights out of my childhood I had with my best friends growing up, playing video games, telling people never to touch this or else I'm going to freak out or something like that. It was childhood. I loved that about it. A criticism I always have of Judd Apatow movies is the running time. I feel like every Judd Apatow movie clocks in at 121 minutes, or it feels like that anyways. This movie, I think clocks in at 95 minutes, which is pretty short. It feels a little long, but by the time I felt that way, the movie was over. And I was so pleased that a comedy was 95 minutes, because I think comedies like this, 95 minutes, you're done, it's perfect. Another really surprising standout thing about this movie is Adam Scott, who plays Will Ferrell's younger brother in the movie. His younger, more successful brother who moved out. I think he's like a helicopter retailer or something like that. And he's played by Adam Scott, who had a bit part in Knocked Up. He was the male nurse. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about or not. And he's also on the HBO series Tell Me You Love Me, which is a really kind of dark look at relationships, and it's not funny. And I was so surprised to see him in this movie, because on that show he seems like a douchebag, and so he was the perfect choice for this brother. But he is hysterical. He's in this movie with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, who are two of the best comedic actors we have working today, and he shines. He absolutely, for me, stole the movie. Whenever he was on, that's who I was watching. There is a hysterical scene in his car with his family, and they're in a Range Rover, and him and his family are singing an a cappella version of Sweet Child of Mine in 4-part harmony, and his youngest son takes a solo during the middle of it, and I just about peed my pants. And if you've ever thought Will Ferrell or any one of these guys is funny, or any of Will Ferrell's movies are funny, if you've ever giggled at anything he's done, you need to see this movie, because it's definitely the best of what he does. So some highlights of this movie: John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell together in a movie. It's great. It's fantastic. And Adam Scott, if you haven't seen him, check out this movie because he's great. One of my criticisms of the movie is I don't have many, but It seems to go on 5 minutes too long, which is better than most Apatow movies, which go on 15 minutes too long. And if you don't think the humor in this movie is funny, if you don't start laughing within the first 5 minutes, you are screwed, because it's really the same bit over and over again. It's John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell trying to figure out how to act like 10-year-olds. They're bickering, they're making bunk beds, they're, karate chopping pumpkins and stuff like that. They're hanging out in a tree fort looking at porn magazines. And if you don't find that funny and endearing, you aren't going to find any of this movie funny, because it is these same jokes, that same type of jokes over and over again. It's men behaving badly, men behaving like children, but it's the best of it. So I really didn't think it was a problem, but if you don't think that's funny, then you probably won't like this movie. Step Brothers, I highly recommend it. It's one of the best comedies I've seen in a long time, and I couldn't have laughed more. So tomorrow I'm going to be going to see Tropic Thunder. I'm going to have that review up, and then the next day I'm really, really going to try and see Pineapple Express, so I can kind of weigh in and say what I think was the best comedy of the summer. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.